Hello everyone, we're going to receive more news about the Packers, but before that, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Ranking 4 Best Jevon Holland Landing Spots in 2025 NFL Free Agency. These 4 teams would be the best fits for Jevon Holland. With the 2025 NFL free agency window approaching, players could be finding new landing spots in the near future. In this window, some players could stay put and agree to a new contract with their team. Or, they could bet on themselves and enter free agency. However, Miami Dolphins safety Jevon Holland's recent comments made it seem like he might not be returning in 2025. As a second-round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, Holland has spent his first 4 years with the Dolphins, making a name for himself in Miami with back-to-back 2-interception seasons to begin his career. However, with just 1 interception in 2023 and none in 2024, the Dolphins could let Holland walk in free agency. While Miami had a relatively strong year, defensively, as far as the stats are concerned, their offense is where problems arose. As the 11th lowest scoring offense in the league, the Dolphins have questions that require answers this offseason, and letting Holland go so they can allocate money on offense could be a realistic move they make. And if that's truly the way they handle this offseason, these are the 4 best teams Holland could land on, starting with one of his best fits. On top of their run-in with the injury late into the 2024 NFL season, the Los Angeles Chargers don't have a super deep secondary on defense. And, as a team that runs a lot of too-high safety looks, Holland could be the perfect partner to 4-time Pro Bowl strong safety Derwin James, per PFF's Mason Cameron. The Chargers also face the difficult task of replacing key secondary players, set to lose 5 of their top 10 snap contributors, Cameron wrote. With Derwin James' success acting as the primary slot defender in 2024, Los Angeles may look to shore up a back end that will be left rather barren, with Alohi Gilman being the only other safety under contract. While the Chargers' buzz ran out a little too quickly in the postseason, this defensive move could have them primed for a deeper playoff run than they had in their first-round exit against the Houston Texans. However, if the Chargers aren't the best fit for Holland, there are 3 other potential landing spots for the Dolphins safety in the 2025 NFL free agency window. If Holland doesn't pair up with Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, another possible landing spot would be the Minnesota Vikings, a team that was one of the top defenses in the NFL in 2024. Holland could join an already stout unit in the Vikings while reuniting with a coach he's familiar with, Brian Flores. Flores was the head coach of the Dolphins from 2019 to 2021, joining the Vikings in 2023 as their defensive coordinator. In 2024, the Vikings' defense was seen as one of the top units in the league under Flores, as his blitz-heavy schemes had opposing offenses scrambling in real time to find an answer. Along with having a familiar face coaching the defense, the Vikings have the 7th most cap space in the NFL, $61.1 million, per Spotrac, making an acquisition of Holland even more possible. Now, there's a possibility that Holland dislikes the cold so much that he forgoes the Vikings as a possible landing spot in 2025. Well, unfortunately for him, this next potential landing spot isn't much warmer. While this pairing might not have the same bells and whistles as the former 2 landing spots, there's one specific reason that the Denver Broncos could be the spot for the soon-to-be 25-year-old safety. Dolphins RB Devon Achane disagrees with Tyreek Hill about need to add some dogs to roster to compete. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill has made waves this offseason already by proclaiming that he was out of Miami, a statement he later walked back, and more recently saying that his team needed to add some dogs to the roster in order to compete in 2025. His teammate disagrees with that perceived need, however, as Dolphins running back Devon Achane said Friday on the Up and Adams show that he believes Miami still has the personnel in-house to play at the level of other elite teams, if they can put it together at the right time. "We got dogs, we just need more people to bring it out, you know what I'm saying?" Achane told K. Adams. I wouldn't say we need more, as in like got to get other people, but last year's team isn't going to be the same as this year's team, so I feel like we know how the season went last year, so this year we should make sure that we don't run into those errors. We know what we're capable of. If we're all on the same page, I feel like we're a hard team to beat. The Dolphins just missed the postseason in 2024 after finishing 8-9, getting eliminated in Week 18 to ensure Miami's 24-year-long drought without a playoff victory would continue. Since head coach Mike McDaniel took over in 2022, the Dolphins have made a name for themselves with splashy regular season play from star names, but have been unable to win games when they count most, resulting in wild-card losses his first 2 years and this season's postseason absence. The offense features the likes of Hill, Achane, Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle as the leading playmakers, though this season's overall output was not quite as eye-popping. This can partially be attributed to Tagovailoa's extended injury absence early on, which aided in a 2-6 start the team was fighting to escape the rest of the year. But it also took most of the season for the offense to truly gel, according to Achane, who said there's additional frustration in knowing time ran out right when things were finally coming together. We knew as a team that we dug ourselves in this hole, Achane said. It sucks that the season ended when we started getting it together. It'd helped if we figured it out earlier. Season would have been better. As to Achane's claim that there is still potential for this group in its current form to exceed last year's results, the stats certainly indicate there's available ground to make up. Hill especially had an unexpected down year, going from almost hitting 2,000 yards receiving in 2023 to not even getting 1,000 this last year. Waddle also saw a downtick in receiving production with his first season under 1,000 yards, and these struggles from what had been a dynamic receiving duo led to the Dolphins finishing 15th in passing yards after leading the league in 2023. Achane was able to partially help in the pass game in his sophomore year, contributing 592 receiving yards and finishing 12th in scrimmage yards. He was also the only player this year with 6 rushing touchdowns and 6 receiving touchdowns. But he saw possible areas of improvement in his own play, as well, describing how he felt he left some yards on the field and thinks there's other milestones he could hit in his upcoming 3rd season to help the team get back on track. I feel like breaking down film after the season. I feel like I left some big runs on the table that I wish that I could have back, Achane said. I feel like my 3rd year going into the season I haven't hit the 1,000-yard mark rushing yet, so that's something that's in mind. I felt like that's something that I could have did last year. Dolphins urged to swing 4 projected $36 million defensive linemen. Miami Dolphins insiders have argued this offseason that the team must find a way to get more physical. One of the best ways to do that, particularly on defense, is to add a defensive lineman such as Milton Williams to the roster. On January 30th, CBS Sports' Jordan Dajani identified Williams as the one player the Dolphins should prioritize signing during 2025 NFL free agency. The Dolphins have several pending free agents on the defensive line such as Calais Campbell and Benito Jones, Dajani wrote. Upgrading on the defensive interior is something Anthony Weaver will fight for, and Miami could swing for the former Eagle that recorded a career-high 5 sacks and 10 QB hits in 2024. A 3rd-round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021, Williams is coming off a breakout 4th season. In 2024, he registered 24 combined tackles, including 7 tackles for loss, along with career highs of 5 sacks and 10 quarterback hits. Williams also played a career-high 501 defensive snaps during the 2024 regular season. Spotrac projected Williams to be worth about $36 million on a 3-year contract this offseason. On January 30th, the Palm Beach Post-Joe Shed didn't list defensive tackle among Miami's top 3 needs this offseason. But Shad expressed that the Dolphins' overall goal this spring and summer should be to add physicality to the roster to complement their speed. It would help if the Dolphins could also address their pass rush. Miami finished the 2024 season ranked 27th with 35 sacks. adding Williams would certainly satisfy the latter need. While his sack total didn't skyrocket, Williams took a huge step forward as a pass rusher in 2024 according to the Pro Football Focus player rankings. In 2023, Williams earned a PFF pass rushing grade of 62. That grade jumped to 91 for the 2024 campaign. The only defensive lineman in the NFL with a better PFF pass rushing grade this past season was Kansas City Chiefs' Chris Jones. Granted, Williams struggled in run defense and tackling according to PFF. But he fared much better in those categories at the analytical website during the past 2 seasons. The Dolphins could sign Williams, hoping he continues to pass rush at an elite level while getting back to his 2022 and 2023 levels in run defense and tackling. And are you a fan? What do you think of the Jordan Dajani situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.